going to get right into this. The initial camera raw filters, you click on your subject and you are going to go up to filter and then camera raw. And so I use my preset settings. It's called sports players up here. Really good tool. So once you get the settings that you are looking for that you want to reuse, save it as a preset and then load them in, and it gives you a really nice base where you don't have to tweak the settings every single time. So you can see these are kind of my old settings on the base, so I like to lower the contrast and raise the shadows a bit and drop the curve to make the darks just a little bit darker. Next, we're just going to do a slight motion blur. So go to filter, blur, and then motion blur. Just do a little horizontal. I have it at 0 degrees and 3 pixels, so it doesn't make the biggest difference in the world, but I do like how it feels just a little less still. And then we are going to duplicate our subject twice, and the bottom of the duplicates will be a complete black layer, so go to color overlay, and then the second one will be a complete white layer. Color overlay, white, convert it to a smart object, rasterize it, and then the white layer we're going to do an overlay at 50%, and the black layer we're going to do a soft light at 38%, which is just kind of like the camera raw. These are just my base settings that I like to set them at, and then we can adjust based on the individual circumstances. So we're going to start on this black layer, and we are going to erase any of the highlighted spots. We're just pretty much making our own contrast here. So anything that has white or a bit of shine to the player, we're going to be erasing the pretty much the black overlay of it. You can see we're just going through very lightly. You can drop the opacity on your eraser too if you want. I think I kept mine really towards 100% on this one. Wasn't trying to be too accurate. I don't know if I'll actually end up using this for more than just a tutorial on a graphic or not. You can see we're going through, we're making the eraser a little bit smaller for parts because we don't want to carry over into the dark parts so much. And then when we go through and we do the white layer, and we do our erases on the white layer, we're going to be doing the same thing but just the opposite. So we're going to be erasing the dark spots on our subject. As you can see, we are going through and finding all the dark spots, and we are just erasing those. Pretty much it'll brighten up our own highlights to make our players pop a little bit more. And when I'm doing this, I'm going on Google and I'm going to advanced search, and I am finding images. I'm searching through images that are usually 8 megabytes or bigger. I'm doing a player like this where it's not a full body, so I don't need the full body and the feet in them. I will raise it a little bit and I'll search by images larger than 15 megabytes. Just an easier thing to do because you can get higher quality photos that are bigger files. So we are no longer on the player's face anymore, or the body and the skin. We are going through and we are touching up the jersey, really darkening up those shadows and the ruffles in the jersey, trying to make it stand out a bit more. And then the jersey kind of folds over those light spots, leaving those, and create a little bit of pop for our player. Alright, so this next part's going to be really simple. You're going to click on your subject, you're going to go to filters and then neural filters, and then you're going to click on skin smoothing. In this, I like to put the smoothness at 100, and it really just softens up the player's face. Usually, you can only do this on images where you can see the full player's face, otherwise it doesn't really pop up for you. Next, we're going to get into the eye touch-ups. We're just going to add a little bit of shine using a white pencil tool, and we're just adding little highlights, making it smaller on each little dot just to make the eyes pop a little bit more. And then we are getting into, we're going into Camera Raw, and we're going to select the masks button, wait for the people to pop up, and then we're going to do the white in the eyes. We want to kind of raise the exposure on that to make them pop a little bit more. They're kind of in the shadows of his brow right now. You can lower the saturation, make it more white. I like to add the highlights in there as well. We're going to be touching up the pupils as well, just trying to just really raise those shadows and the exposure to bring a little bit more detail and pop into the scene. Here you can see we're also doing lips. I like to raise the contrast a little bit. Just kind of play around with these settings. We're just trying to make things pop a little bit more, make it a little bit smoother. Yeah. You can see the changes that we have here after that last camera raw adjustment. And next we will be getting into the slight highlights, as I call them. Here you're going to be using a white color on the pencil tool, and I like to do the soft edges, and you just kind of click around. You're going to set your layer to soft light. You just kind of click around. And we're just raising those little bright spots. This is going to help. This is going to help the pop. This is going to help the contrast. We're really just going through and we're adding extra highlights to the parts that are already highlighted. Here we're going to go through. You can see our image. I feel like it looks a little dark right now. So we're going to go into our curve layer and we're going to kind of raise those darker tones right now. Just a little bit up. Just adding more detail You can see I'm changing the mid-tones as well. We're raising those. It's, yeah, just detail adding, just trying to show off his full facial expression. Here we're going to do a little bit of coloring of the eyes. Again, just for a little bit more pop, I'm going to select green, kind of go with the Minnesota Timberwolves jersey color, and we're going to go with a little bit of a lighter color green, and we're just going to click around closer to the black of the pupil. Click around, and then the next step is we're going to darken that green shade up a little bit, and we're going to click around more of the outside of the pupil. Yeah, just adding a little bit of color contrast, really trying to just brighten it up and give it a little glow. Then we're going to change the overlay. A lot of these were very harsh, so I think we ended up going with color or linear dodge add, and then just lowering the opacity a little bit. You can see it's a little much right now, so lower it a little bit more. We want it to pop, but we don't want it to be the main focus of the subject. Next, we're going to go into the color lookup. This is in the adjustments layer. For these, I like to do the 3-strip look. Sometimes I change the blending to color. I don't know if it really changes anything about that at all. And then I like to kind of play around with the opacity. You can see what it looks like fully on and at 0. Sometimes it gives a little red hue to the skin tones, and sometimes just a little too harsh, so I like to bring that opacity down. You can see not loving how dark, like how big the contrast is that we created, so I'm going to lighten it up by lowering the opacity of the white layer, the white overlay layer, and then the black soft light layer. I feel like this is looking a little bit clearer. You can see we're going through what the original picture looks like, and here we're also just kind of trying out and seeing what we like for these settings. This is on a little glow. And here we're just going to get a little bit of jersey detail. We're going to go to camera raw, masks, wait for people to pop up, and then we're going to select close here. And this is really for, I felt like the jersey was a little too bright and there wasn't enough detail of the folds and the ripples of his jersey, so we're just going to darken that up a little bit. We're going to move the darkness on the curve, and then we're also going to bring the lightness down as well. You can see the details in the jersey are kind of changing. Add some texture, and should be good to go. You can see that little change right there from what it looked like before. There's the before, and here's the after. I like it a lot. And that is pretty much it for the retouch. Thanks for watching.